What's going on, guys? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be reacting to Stephen Fry describing our future with artificial intelligence and robots. So, we're probably going to kill ourselves, but if we don't do that, I feel like artificial intelligence and robots will do that before us. You know, this is one of the most pressing issues right now, something I find very worrisome, AI, and just how quickly it's developing and taking over and becoming so prominent in our lives. I'm just worried about, especially the unregulated side of it, and what advancement will be detrimental. When is that line going to be crossed? What is that line? Just a lot is up in the air right now, and things have just been super hectic recently. So I'm very interested to hear what Stephen Fry has to say on probably the most important issue right now, if we're going to be honest. Ignore the Dutch subtitles unless you're Dutch, because I believe he appeared on a Dutch broadcast to talk about this. And yeah, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit subscribe, consider joining the Patreon for full reactions to British shows and movies. Reacted to a lot of Stephen Fry stuff, him being a host on QI, him acting in Blackadder, all the quintessential stuff, Faulty Towers, Only Fools and Horses. Anything you want is up there for the most part. So anyways, here we go, guys. I'm excited. This is going to be, it's going to be a big one.
I'm passionate also about technology. I'm very interested and always have been. Two of the primal and most loved Greek myths are to do with the creation of mankind. It starts with the creation of the gods, what Hesiod calls the theogony, the birth of the gods. But then our champion, the Titan Prometheus, made human beings in clay, and the spit of Zeus and the breath of Athena gave them life. But Zeus refused to allow us to have fire. And the fire, I think, means both literal fire, to allow us to become Bronze Age man, and to create weapons and to cook meat and to frighten the fierce animals and to become the strongest physically and technically, but also the internal fire of self-consciousness and creativity, the divine fire. And Zeus didn't want us to have it. And Prometheus stole fire from heaven, gave it to man. And Zeus was so angry that he punished Prometheus by chaining him to a mountainside. And he was immortal, Prometheus. Every day his liver was torn out by an eagle, and it grew back, and every day it was torn out again for perpetuity until he was rescued by Heracles. Now, I mention this. And the other punishment was that Zeus and the other gods created Pandora, the all-gifted, that is what Pandora, all-gifted, and sent her down as the first woman. She had everything, but he also gave her this jar, which we sometimes call a box, which actually was the mistaken translation of a very famous Netherlandish intellectual called Erasmus, who mistook the Latin pithos and picos, the two words, and so he translated it as a box, but it should actually be a jar. But Pandora came to Earth, if you remember, and she was told that she shouldn't look into the jar. And she was beautiful. She had everything. All the gifts of all the gods were given to her. But she had this curiosity, and she opened the jar, and I'm sure you all know the story. Out flew hardship, lies, deceit, murder, pestilence, all the ills of the world, and the golden age was over. She slammed the lid back on, and one little fairy was left inside, Elpis, hope. Now, that's fine. That seems like an interesting story. It's an interpretation. But actually, if you think about it at the present, firstly, the Prometheus story, as soon as mankind shook off the chains of religion and the church, we became incredibly interested in the Prometheus story, because it suddenly said, we don't have to bow down and apologize to a god. Gods have to apologize to us for denying us our independence and our sense of ourselves and our fire. And so Shelley wrote Prometheus Unbound, the poem. Beethoven wrote a Prometheus Overture, all within 5 years of each other. The height of the Enlightenment, if you like, and the beginning of the Romantic era. Now, I'm going to put that to one side, and I'm going to go back to 1989, when I became fascinated by this extraordinary new development in which you could network computers to a network of networks, which was starting to be called the Internet. There was no web. There was no graphical application. It was all text-based, but I was really excited by it. And as it grew, I became more and more excited. I thought this is the biggest and most exciting bringing together of human beings in the history of our planet. It is the all-gifted. It will give us freedom of access to knowledge. We will share things, art, politics. Boundaries will be dissolved. We will learn to love each other. We will all be brothers. Like in Beethoven's Ninth, you know, we will all be brothers. It would be fantastic. And social media came and the Arab Spring, and I thought there would be no more tribalism, no more hatred, no more racism. This would be wonderful. But what happened? The lid opened, and out came trolls, out came...
Bro, this is actually so true about the internet. Oh my... I don't know if people know this, but initially the internet was not regulated. Like, it was built it was built on trust, though. It really was. And obviously that system is just not possible like nowadays. You know, the internet is a much different place. But when the internet was first created, it really was like, it was amazing. It was like an oasis of just freedom, peace, and there was a lot of mutual trust. But times have certainly changed, because now going on the internet is, it's much different, really. Trust is like the last thing you have on the internet. People are always trying to scam you and do this, and there's a lot of stuff. Okay, this is really interesting. I was waiting for him to get to it, but there's definitely more. Hold on.
And out came trolls, out came abusers, out came racists and tribalists and insulters and the worst kind of humanity. It was an exact replay of Pandora's box. And I thought that was so interesting, that the Greeks had this understanding that when we have something that seems perfect, there is no possibility but that it also contains its opposite. And now, this is the most important part. I'm sorry to...
One more God, because you're my God.
This is the most important part. I guarantee you, whether you like to think it or not, that although we know through Darwin and science and genes that we were not created by an intelligent designer, in 100 years' time, we can guarantee there will be sapient creatures, sapient beings on this earth that have been intelligently designed. You can call them robots, you can call them compounds of augmented biology and artificial intelligence, but they will exist. The first person to live to 200 years old has already been born. The future is enormous. It's never been more existentially transformative. And my question is this: when the Prometheus, who makes the first really impressive piece of robotic AI, like Frankenstein, but like Prometheus, back in the Greek myth, they will have a question. Do we give it fire? Do we give these creatures self-knowledge, self-consciousness, an autonomy that is greater than any other machine has ever had and will be similar to ours? In other words, shall we be Zeus and deny them fire because we're afraid of them, because they will destroy us? And the Greeks and the human beings did destroy the gods. They no longer needed them. And it is very possible we will create a race of sapient beings who will not need us.
And will they be as imperfect as we are?
Almost certainly, yes.
I hope so.
Yeah. But we will be redundant.
Oh, that's such a crazy way to end it. We will be redundant. Oh no. Okay, so this is just what I like. I knew he was gonna say something along these lines. This is perfect. So, will we be Zeus? That's the question. Like, and I think that's the most pressing issue. Robots, artificial intelligence, it's here. Okay, like we are, and this is the beginning too. So we're at the beginner stages. Things are going to continue to get more advanced and all that. But I asked this in my preface before this video started, when do we cross the line and where is that line? And when I said that line, I was referring to exactly what Stephen Fry stated at the end of this video, talking about, will we give the robots fire? Will they have, self-consciousness, the ability to self-awareness, and then also the power and ability to take over, take control? that's like, I think that's a question no one has the answer to right now, because it's just such a difficult thing. Like, for humans, I think right now, yes, we definitely want to restrict it and not give it that type of power. But like, you know, as it continues to get more and more popular, there's developers everywhere. I feel like, you know, most of the countries that are at the technological cutting edge have robots already and have had robots. Like, this is not a new development. I feel like I literally saw like a video of a Chinese robot like talking and moving around and all stuff just like a human like 10 years ago. Like, this is not brand new. But like, where is that line drawn? And there has to be a lot of like international cooperation and legislation and regulation in order for that line to not be crossed, because like I said, it's just too widespread. There's too much room for error. Humans, we make errors. That's all we ever do. So I mean, all these dystopian robo killer movies, maybe like, I feel like they're pretty true. Like, oh, the developer does too much, or oh, this guy's evil and wants to create a robot. Like, it's probably gonna happen. Like, I just, that's why the future is so, it feels so up in the air. And you know, I know we say that like, oh wow, like, are we really gonna last another 100 years on Earth? But I feel like every generation throughout time that's been a human has asked that question. Because if you go back in time, like, the world really was so chaotic and like up in flames at times, and you know, it's still continued to turn around and we're still here. So if you consider that, I feel like, you know, everything's gonna keep on going. But I don't know what it's gonna be like. It still is really weird right now living with AI, because you know, everyone's using AI to help with their work. It's becoming a tool, and a dangerous tool at that. So, you know, it's very difficult to know what the future will look like, especially because of artificial intelligence and robots. I just hope that line isn't crossed. That's my thoughts on it, guys. Stephen Fry speaking very eloquently on a very difficult topic. I love the relation to Greek mythology and how he drew those parallels between the story of Zeus and of course Pandora. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Enjoy this one a lot. Let me know what you guys think down below. Is life coming to an end, or is it coming to a beginning? And we're at we're at the forefront of it either way. So it's an interesting time to be alive. Just treat each other well, guys. That's the only thing I can say. Be nice, be kind, and we'll keep on going. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.